Do you ever skip squats because you're too scared to hit them and go to failure and fall because you have no friends to spot you? Well, today we're going to do a couple of exercises to hit leg day optimally while not doing squats because you're too scared to do them, you little sissy. All right, first we're going to start off with a couple of stretches. You might have seen some studies that say that you shouldn't be doing static stretches because it'll impact the performance of the lift. So don't just hold your stretching position. Give a little sway to your body. And we're going to start with a warm up on leg extensions so you can get your knees nice and warmed up. We don't want you popping something while you're doing the other exercises. You want to kick up nice and explosively and strong and go down nice and slow and controlled. Try and get as down as your machine will let you. This one lets me bring my knees to an almost like 90-degree without losing any tension or stretch. There are some machines out there that let you get an even bigger stretch, so they're actually better. Go light, do 15 to 20 reps just to get warmed up. Then we're going to move on to the hack squat. All right, moving on now to the hack squat. We're going to do 3 working sets. You can do more if you're more advanced. I'm intermediate, so I like doing 3 sets more or less for my workouts. Start light so that you can warm up. Do 1 or 2, maybe 3 warm-up sets depending on how heavy you plan to go. I'm only going to do 1 warm-up set. And don't do too many reps. We don't want you getting fatigued because this is just a warm-up. So let's get to it. So I've got 50 pounds loaded up. I'm not sure exactly how many pounds my machine adds. I feel like it's around 30, 40. So for the hack squat, instead of getting really straight like this, I like curving my back just a little bit so I can tense my core. If you notice, when you do this, it's really hard to keep your core tense. So I feel a lot more comfortable like this. You're going to want to put your feet somewhere that you can go on a 90-degree angle all lower as to grass. Keep your heels a little closer with your toes bent out. So it should look like this. Let's get to it. Just like any other workout, you want to go down, slow, up fast. A good thing to try out if you can't do squats or hack squats because your ankle mobility is to actually test it out. So I'll show you what that looks like. So some of you, like me, might not be able to do squats or hack squats because when you go down, your leg starts shaking, it starts lifting up. You notice that your back is getting all disaligned. That might very possibly be because your ankle isn't flexible enough. So a good way to test it is put it around your arms, your hands width away from a flat surface, and without lifting your heel, let your knee come forward to match that object. I, for the longest time, could not do squats because my ankles did not let me bend my knees forward enough to do a squat. Until I figured out it was my ankle mobility and I started doing stretches. Don't go too hard on your first day because you'll mess up your Achilles tendon. But definitely do stretches here and there. It could also be your hip that doesn't let you go down far enough. In my case, it was my ankles. So I hope that helps some of you. A good way to save time in the gym is to not really rest between your warm-up sets. They're not supposed to be hard, and they're supposed to get your blood pumping anyway. So you don't really have to rest in between them. I got loaded 135 pounds. Let's get right to our first working set. All right, I could have probably done 2 more or so. I don't like going too hard on my first set, just in case my body isn't completely warmed up. But I will be taking my next 2 sets all the way to failure. Research suggests that as long as you get close to failure, you can stimulate muscle growth. So you don't necessarily have to go to failure. At least that's what research suggests so far. I feel more comfortable going to failure, and I see that I have some very good results doing it, as long as I give my body enough time to recover from the damage, which usually with legs takes me like 4 days. So I still manage to work out 2 times a week, each muscle group. And I usually do 6 sets per muscle group weekly. With legs, I do 12 for quads anyway. So you'll see what that looks like in a little bit. Research also suggests that the optimal resting time between sets is 3 minutes. So that's when I'm going to be resting until my next set. And I'll see you guys then. Alrighty, moving on to my second working set. I upped the weight by 20 pounds because I like sticking to a 12 to 15 rep range. And I went a little above that on that first set. As you saw there, if I went down again, I was not getting back up. So that is what going to failure should look like. That or going back down again and not getting back up. If you got any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll make sure to answer to everyone and anyone that does make a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I hope to see you guys in the next one, which will probably be chest and back day, because I like doing upper body, arms, and legs separate. That's my workout split. I would be lying if I said that my quads aren't on fire already. The pump I'm feeling is crazy. Just pulling my leg back feels like I can't even reach. Don't get me wrong, squats are definitely the king of building legs, but some of you are not going to be able to do it by yourselves or are going to be too afraid. So that's why I decided to make this video. And I talk too much, so let's do this. Come on. If you're a beginner, I suggest you just do the hack squats and be done with quads. I, however, am going to do 3 more sets of leg extensions. When I do these working sets, I like to keep my knees close together. The reason being, I feel a lot more activation of the inner thigh muscle. So if you really want to get that popping out, I recommend you try this slight variation on the leg extension and let me know how it goes for you. I usually do 45 pounds in my working sets with leg extensions instead of 25s, but upping the weight on the hack squat left my legs too exhausted to do that weight. And that's one thing you got to consider when you're going to work out a muscle more than once in different exercises. If you go harder on the first one, you are going to be weaker on the second ones. And it's not that you're having a bad day or that you're weaker. It's just that you already exhausted the crap out of your muscle. I like doing half reps on the stretch part of the exercise. It kills you, man. It really does. Only once I'm already not capable of doing full reps, though. When I switch out to half repping on the stretch part of the movement. If you have any ideas on how I could make these videos better, more entertaining, maybe you want it to be more of a informational type video, then please let me know. and try my best to accommodate to what you guys want to see. Obviously, I'm new at this, and although I do like the Sam Sulek approach to the videos more, where he edits them less. This is a longer, chill video where he shows the different exercises and some of the sets. I am more than willing to change to whatever will suit you guys the most. So let me know down in the comments, and we're gonna now move on to our third exercise on leg days, which is gonna be our hamstring exercise. All right, so for hamstrings, I cannot stress enough how much I love hamstring curls. This machine is obviously not the most optimal for this exercise, but it gets the job done. I can stretch the hamstrings quite a bit, and I can get a pretty good contraction, and that's all you really need to grow muscle. Right now I'm doing a warm-up set with 25 pounds, and then I'm gonna up it to 45. This is my working set. Got the 45 pounds on there. All right, I'm gonna do 2 more sets like those, but I'm not gonna record them. So I'll see you guys in the last exercise of legs. Thank you so much to anyone who might have watched the video all the way to the end. I really appreciate you guys. So let me actually straighten the camera out a little bit more. Give me a second. There we go. So for our last exercise, we are gonna be doing sumo deadlift. Now I know you're thinking, sumo? That's cheating. Well, sumo works out different muscles than conventional, alright? I feel my quads way more on conventional than I do on sumo. On sumo, I feel my hamstrings and my lower back more than my quads. So that's why I do it as a nice finisher for my hamstrings and as a way to work out my lower back, which I do not do in that day. I focus on the rest of my back on that day. So for deadlift, you're going to want to straighten out your back. Bend your knees and pull your body back. So you should be in an angle like this. Put the bar next to your shins and pull up with your back at the same time that you are pushing off with your legs. Let me move forward a little bit. I'm going to do one more set of those. I like going light, going for more reps than weight, especially since it's a finisher. So I'm already exhausted from everything else. So I'll see you guys in the next and last set of the workout. All right, I figured I'd wait to explain the rest of the sumo position until this clip because you guys will be able to see it there better. So when I'm doing sumo, I like spreading my legs really wide And then my arms, I like keeping at shoulder width so that they fall in between my knees rather than out. And toes pointing as forward as my legs will let me in this position. Should I remove that damn thing? Another thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing deadlifts is to keep your arms locked out. So you're not using your bicep or your tricep, because otherwise you risk tearing it off. Sorry about this part of the video having to be recorded vertically. It didn't really, I couldn't get far away enough from the camera otherwise to show my legs. As you can see, there's still a lot of work left to be done. They are pretty small and don't have much to any definition on them. Probably the best part about them is my calves, and they're not huge either, so still a lot of work to be done with them. But like I said, until recently I couldn't really work out my legs properly because of my ankle mobility not allowing me to do squats. So I haven't really been working them out for too long, opposed to the rest of my body. So now I just need them to catch up, and not even catch up, just reach the point that I want them to reach. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this little leg day workout, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, which will be chest and back and shoulders.